Morning! Welcome back. Pretty well left off where the last... Get that out right, hang on a minute. We pretty much started off where the last one finished. Just bear with me, I've got the heater cranking in here and I'm starting to cook. So contract sowing, canola. It's about 6:30, camera probably doesn't show how foggy it is, quite foggy this morning. Gonna be a nice day though, the sun's trying pretty hard to get up and going. So we're just rolling along here. I got going yesterday, if you didn't watch the last one. So we've got about 270 hectares of canola to sow down here. This is a regular job we do. We do a lot of work down here. So anyway, we'll just keep it rolling. You need to do a bit of work on the boom spray. I've got an appointment in town this morning, so I've got to go in and get some parts. Not too sure what's happened, but the bottom's been busted off the induction hopper on the boom spray, so it's the hopper that we tip all the chemical in. And then I went home and got our little batching unit and got the boom spray filled and done what I've always done before with the sequence of how I turned it off. And anyway, whether the pressure coming in to the poly pump, they've got a poly pump on them for the chemical. It's split the housing on it quite badly. So Brendan's going to come out here. He'll be here in about half an hour, and I'll slip home and start and pull it to bits. And I don't think the guys in town will have parts for it on the shelf. We'll see how we go. So, but yeah, I'll show you that. And I'm just whether the plastic's getting a bit brittle, maybe, don't know. But anyway, it'd be 5 or 6 year old probably now. We've had it for a while, that thing. So it has pumped a bit of water and a bit of chemical in its life. So, but yeah, it just seemed to be a pressure thing. So anyway, we're on sowing a pivot, so we just got the GPS set up. So we're just going round and round. So I'm not actually having to turn at ends to turn the machine round. I'm just working my way into the middle, just hopping over a run. Each time I get back to the beginning, so it's really efficient this, because we're not, the machine's in the ground all the time. So I reckon we'd be picking. I did sort of did nearly 24 hectares yesterday, and I reckon I did that in 3.5 hours. So we're sort of, for whatever reason, we're battling to get our 6 hectares an hour out, which is, it's not frustrating because there's no super panic, because what we're sowing is not going to rain. But it'd be good to sort of get that 6.5 hectares out. Once we get a bit better going, the bigger paddocks and that sort of stuff helps. You're not turning around all the time. And, the machine's in the ground. So anyway, we'll keep chugging along here for a little bit. We do need some AdBlue. I don't know where I think Tony must have that blue container in the back of his ute. But we've got enough for a few hours yet. But at some stage we're going to have to get some AdBlue. I'll probably, when Brendan gets here, I'll go home. I'll go home, and then once Tony gets to work, if he's got it in the back of his ute, I'll have a bit better look in the daylight. And I'll come back down and bring some AdBlue down, and then we'll fill the fert. Give Brendan a hand to fill the fert up, and then he'll be right for a good part of the day then. So, anywho, round and round we go. Brendan turned up, got him set up. So I think the AdBlue drum's in the back of Tony's ute. I don't know whether I mentioned that, but that's where Brendan reckoned it is. So once he gets here, I think I did say that. Anyway, just heading down. I had the irrigator going on the Lucerne, just to give it a bit of a drink with the weather staying dry, just freshen the Lucerne up for the sheep. I actually turned it off about 6 o'clock, just when I left. I just need to, I think the sheep weren't walking through it to get past it, so it does walk through a fence here. I just said I'll shut it off for an hour, or a couple of hours, and just give the sheep a chance to walk through it, and then I'll come and open the gates and restart it. So I'll just walk along here in a minute and open the gates, and any sheep that are sort of on the uphill side of it, I'll push them around, just walk around out in the paddock and push them around and get them away from it. Yeah, most, as I think I mentioned, most of the ewes of lamb, like this, they'll only be the odd one that hasn't. So, and yeah, lambs, given the weather, the weather the last few years, this time of year has been fantastic for lambing. Warm days and it's not super cold nights and that sort of stuff. So we're all I need to clean the windows in my ute. I need to wash my ute actually at some point in time. Yeah, so but they're all doing pretty well. So back at the workshop, so just attacking this thing. Basically just going to have to split it around here, take all the bolts out. You can see should be able to see the split there. Effectively what I've done is just deadheaded the pump, which I do every other time, but yeah, whether she's gone a bit brittle or what, I don't know. So I'm trying to leave the motor there if I can, if I unhooked it off here, unbolted it off here, and if I take those bolts off around there and the bottom off the pump, we'll just see whether we can get enough to without having to unbolt the motor as well. Anyway, so we go. So that's inside of a centrifugal banjo pump. Yeah, so I assume we'll take this couple of Phillips head screws there, we'll pull that out of casting off, and yeah, hopefully we can get at the inside with a bit of luck. The thing with these things, you've really got to destroy them to be able to get them apart. Can be lucky sometimes. Yeah, come off alright. So, little mechanical seal in the back of them. Ooh. We might even put a kit in it while we're going. We've got it apart. Easy as that, sort of. There you can probably, you can see the daylight there. So apparently you can get them. Yeah, anyway, we'll take it to town and see the boys at Dickens Ag, and I don't know whether they'll have one on the shelf, but they should be able to get one. So. Okay, we're spraying. Yeah, apologies for the dirty windows. I'll just show you what it looks like, the Isobus on this screen. So the GPS on this screen's integrated, so it's still Trimble, but it's, I think it's sub 10 centimetre repeatability, so or RTX they call it, sub 5 or sub 10, not too sure, I can't remember. So we can bring it up, you know, big like that on as we do on the other screen, or we can have a split screen and we've got the sprayer controllers in the top. The only problem is it's a bit small. It'd be really good if it sort of, you know, encompassed the whole top of that screen, but look, it still works alright anyway. I can make it, you know, I can make it the whole screen, but then I can't see what the GPS is up to. So generally you don't need that spraying screen too much anyway. It is good to be able to have a look at your hectares, and once you get your because we can't import, although it's Trimble, we can't import, well, I don't think we can import the lines in out of the other system, the actual straight Trimble system. So yeah, we're putting new lines in as we go. One thing we don't have is the auto shut-off, which we do with the other system, which isn't a big deal in square paddocks. It's just when you get odd-shaped paddocks, it comes in handy, just with overlap and that sort of stuff. So we're just manually shutting the boom off where we need to. And again, that is a bit fiddly with that. We've got to, yeah, you can't just, it'd be good to have a row of switches where you can individually turn off each section, but it's basically, you can move it, turn it off from the outside in on each side. So we have inquired about, we can actually put auto shut off in this screen, which will be about $3,000. So it's an unlock, and I think it's a, you know, 2 or 3 hours with the laptop. So I have told the guys at AGCO to Cobram Farm Equipment that we want to do it just when they've got time. So look, if it rains we might get a window, but look, it's not the end of the world at the moment. So again, we're running this tractor on, bear with me, running this tractor because we're doing a bit of grader boarding with the Magnum, and yeah, if we get back doing summer crop, the Magnum is better on the bin than this little tractor. So sorry, just turn around there and try not to get the wiggles too much. So yeah, that's that screen anyway. It does work pretty well once you get your head around it. It's a bit tricky, but yeah, once you get your head around it, it does work pretty well. Oh, much the same at this time of the day. We're about 9:30. Yeah, what have we done? 28 hectares in here. Brendan had done about 14. I've got this paddock sprayed, and yeah, just went home and had Sharon had some dinner, and yeah, came back again. So yeah, I'll probably need to fill up shortly with fert. So what I'm thinking is I might yeah, pull the pin. We're going to need fuel in the morning. We've got a hose at the back I had to fix out of the cart. Yeah, it's wrapped up with duct tape, so I'll bring a new hose down in the morning, but while I'm fueling and fixing that hose, we might fill the fert bin. So yeah, and I'm just standing here watching it. So yeah, but probably, I don't know, we get another half an hour in, something like that, I'd say. I'll just show you whether you can see on the screen there, a little flag there. There's just a few holes and that sort of stuff, pivot tracks and that sort of thing. So what we're actually doing is we're marking those bad holes, and then we'll upload this map into the windrower, because obviously windrowing time we're not going to be able to see the ground. So and then yeah, whoever's on the windrower then is just going to be aware that there's a hole or a trough. There's quite a few troughs, being dairy country, there's quite a few troughs across this paddock, so I'm marking the troughs as well. Yeah, and that just just if you're in here in the dark, we're going to have a pretty big windrowing program this year, contracting wise. So yeah, it'll have to get pushed into the night most of the time, and the window's generally not that big. So yeah. So if you're nothing worse than steaming along here in the dark and come across a concrete trough or something like that, so you place the market now, and then I'll get Jeremy from Dickens Ag. I'll speak to him about that sort of thing and just how we can put it in front of us. But yeah, we should be pretty right, hopefully. So, but anyway, another half an hour or so here, and I'll knock off. All right, home time. We mightn't wind this one up just yet. We've got a few jobs to do here in the morning, so cooled off. But anyway, we'll see you in the morning. G'day, we're back. So it's been a couple of days since we started this one, or since the gap there where I was at night. So we had some hay here to do. We're still contracting. Got some hay here to do that we got pressed up. It's pretty much just been sowing and spraying, so pretty mundane. You've probably seen plenty of that. So Brendan's just knocked off. It's actually public holiday today, so Tony's not working. Brendan came out and drove the seeder for me. I came and loaded it for him early and got going, and then I went out and jumped on the grader board. So we're just trying to get a bit of our own country boarded. So just back here now. He's just left. I'm just here. Seeder and air cart and hose. So what's happened is we did one the other day. They sort of perish just with the turning and that. They sort of get a bit perished in time, and we did one. It broke off there. So we've had another one break off there. Now this stuff is as stiff as stiff. So what we've got to do is we've got to try and get that back in there. You can fight them and flog them and get them back in, but the easiest way is to boil some hot water. So given it's quite windy, so I've just got the thing in here. I'm hoping I don't run out of gas, but we are getting there, I think. But it's just a waiting game. So yeah, I'll dip the pipe in the hot water once we get her up to speed, and yeah, that cam fitting will slide straight on there. So we've got, I'm not too sure, it's about 20 hectares left here and we're done. So, or done for this trip. We do have to come back here, so, but yeah, done, and then we can move back to our place and get a bit more of it done. Right, so here we go here. See that? Kettle's boiling. You just drop it in there like that. Having a little luck here, come on.
Probably not on far enough, but it might be as far as it's going to go. Bit of a sharp edge on the hose, so you can usually push it on further than that. But anyway, we'll heat it up again and do the other end onto the machine now. Don't know how that'll go. We might have another go if I can get it out. It's got a bit of an edge on it. I might even give it a oh, can't see me. Might even give it a grind. It's got a bit of a burr around it. Might just help me to get it on. I've got the cordless grinder here, so we'll see how we go. Got a lot of all back together. Had to get a bit violent with it, but anyway, that end slipped on all right. So this sort of wants changing a bit. We've got that rise there. When we built it, was really the hoses could really come straight through, but I am going to change the front of this. Well, I want to change this front of this A-frame, the pull on this, so and go to a caster system, so we can't actually turn on ourselves. We've got to skip a row when we're sewing. So anyway, we'll get cracking again. Back rolling. So I just where I was fixing the pipe, it's got which they're going to pull out. It's got fences down either side. What's going on here? Either side of the check banks, and yeah, dealing with a bit of wire and that sort of stuff. Bit better going in here so we can skip runs, because the bays are must be about 37 metres bank to bank, so we fit 4 runs down each bay, so it's pretty good going. You just sort of skip over. You've got to shift the AB line a little bit, but it is pretty good going. So probably be a good couple of hours. There might be 3 hours left here yet. We'll be backing up and head for home. All right, all done for this round. So just filled up. Deal is, when we're contracting the farmer or whoever we're doing it for, they supply the fuel. So this is obviously our fuel trailer, but yeah, we bring the fuel trailer full of fuel and then we leave with full of fuel. So these guys here don't have, well, they do have, I think they do have a little fuel pod, but not I think we carry, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200 litres, something like that. So yeah, all done. We do have to come back. I think I mentioned do have to come back and sow a bit more canola here, but they've got to get some gypsum spread, and then we've got some barley to do at some point in time too, and we've got corn down here to harvest as well, so there's a bit to do down here yet. Hopefully we can get at the corn in the next couple of days, so just with the fine weather. There's probably no huge rush. There was a bit of weather coming next week, but I think it might be gone again now. So it's pretty fine, it's pretty cold, winds around the south, so yeah, anyway. Alright, thanks again. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.